Man, guys, I was really hoping that this was going to be one of their newer tablets.
So one day I got a notification from Woot, and it was for a really cheap tablet. And it didn't say what model number, it just said Galaxy Tab. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and order it and just see what happens. When I got it, it turned out to be a Galaxy Tab A6, which came out about 2016, so it's about 7 years old. So it's not new by any means.
So, of course, the first question that popped in my head was, will a tablet that was made in 2016 even be useful in today's world?
There are still some things that this would be useful for, but there's a lot of stuff that you couldn't still do on it. But if you run across something like this really cheap, I'll tell you what you can do, what you can't. Let's go through the process, and there was a little bit of a headache setting it up, and I'll tell you all about it. Let's go. Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. So when the package came in the mail, I opened it up and found out that it was the Galaxy Tab A6. It came in a box wrapped in some of those bubble wrap envelopes because this was refurbished. So first of all, with the setup, the Google account part of it was actually pretty straightforward. It worked as expected, and so I was happy about that. So going ahead and setting it up, it's the normal stuff where you're going through, putting in your Google information and all that kind of stuff. All that went really smoothly. Where it started to not be smooth was when we got into the Samsung account part of it. What happened was when I went to sign into my Samsung account, it said that it couldn't load the page. And it was telling me to update the Google services. However, it wouldn't let me X out of that in order to go do that. What I ended up having to do is force restart the tablet and then go through the setup process again. But then when I get to the Samsung part of it, I skipped that. I then went to go update the Google services, and then once that was updated, I went back in and signed into my Samsung account, and then it worked fine. As far as the speed on this thing, at this point, I mean, it feels really sluggish and slow. Maybe back in 2016 with the software that it would have been running, it would have been fine, but by today's standards, I mean, it just feels awful slow. You can browse the web, check your email, watch YouTube videos. You can do a lot of those type of things. There are apps that you're able to download. I was able to download a lot of Google apps, such as Google Drive, Gboard, and Google Calendar, a lot of those apps. Unfortunately, I was not able to download anything like T-Mobile Digits, which lets you answer your phone or send and receive text from your tablets. None of that worked on here. I tried downloading Zoom because if I want to get on a business meeting in Zoom, but it's not going to work. It just says that it's not compatible. I tried sideloading the app, and it still wouldn't work. It just said app not installed. Browsing the web, it's pretty good, or checking your email, it's pretty good. The screen is nice and clear. The screen is also pretty responsive, which is nice. If you're watching videos such as YouTube, it's okay, but it's not amazing. The speaker is in the back and it fires away from you, so it's louder if you aren't looking at the screen. If you're looking at the back of it, you can hear it louder, but it's not too bad, but you wouldn't want to use it in a really loud situation. As far as the camera goes on this thing, I mean, it's abysmal. I mean, it has a rear camera and a front-facing camera, and they're both just terrible. This was 2016, which is iPhone 7 era, and this is nowhere near as good quality as the cameras that were on the iPhone 7. But to be fair, this, even in its day, was a lot cheaper than the iPhone 7. If you don't know, the Galaxy Tab A is Samsung's budget line of tablets. So you can see here that the detail in both cameras is just fuzzy and not good.
Another thing that I was really disappointed with was the lack of interconnectivity between this tablet and other Samsung devices. So there's no screen mirroring, for instance, with this TV behind me. There's also no interconnectivity between this tablet and my business phone, which is a Samsung phone, I was hoping that there would be some extra special interconnectivity, things that would just sync between apps or whatever, and there's not. If you've ever used an iPhone or an iPad, you'll know how when you take a picture on your iPhone, the picture just automatically shows up on your iPad, and there's a lot of different things like that, AirDrop, things like that. I was hoping that there would be some special features that I could report here, but there's not. Hopefully Samsung will add some features like that in the future. It'd be really cool if you could make and receive calls or send and receive text from your tablet.
On the upside, the battery life is great. I first turned this on last night, and I've been using this off and on last night and today, doing different things, testing it, watching YouTube videos, all kinds of stuff like that, and I'm still at 64%. So I'm pretty happy with the battery life. There's not a whole lot of internal storage, so you're not going to be able to store a lot of pictures or videos on here. However, it's sufficient for browsing the web, checking your email, things like that. Another thing I could see this being useful for is to have it plugged in continuously on a stand and just use it as a monitor for a security camera. Say you've got a camera in your garage, you just want to keep an eye on that camera. Well, this could work for just being able to quickly check that footage if you want to set it up somewhere that you can easily get to it and just see what's going on that camera. You could also just use this as an e-reader and just have a bunch of PDFs and maybe audiobooks on it, and it would work fine for that. Unfortunately, as a general tablet, if you want to be able to do all the modern things that you can do on tablets, I just wouldn't recommend this, even if you get it cheap. So there you go. I really like a lot of Samsung's products. Unfortunately, this one is just a little bit too long in the tooth. It may have been really useful several years ago, but today, I just don't think I could recommend it. As always, I hope you found this video useful and interesting. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments. I'd love to talk to you down there. If you're interested, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.